Hi, this is Allison Unsmeyer again, and this is my third video for the 5 New Technologies assignment. This website is called teachermonstertoread.com. This is intended for the students, but also teachers can use a lot of data that Teacher Monster to Read gives teachers, and then they can use it to analyze and then reteach or enrich their students. So Teacher Monster to Read is a fun game. It's also an app that can be for your iPad or for an Android device. Teacher Monster to Read, I like it just because it is a game like internet site that progresses with your students, and if they miss so many or if the website thinks that they need to review or go back and work on something, it will take them back to it and they don't even know that they're going to have to practice that skill again because it's given in a new way. I use Teacher Monster to Read during my guided reading time. I find that my kids are very engaged during it because it is game based. It also has the students play different things. They get to level up, they get to buy things for their monster, and it's just great. So the first thing that you would need to do is you would need to sign up for an account, and then you would go to the teachers area. And if you need to add players, you would just go down here. Oops, where's it at? Add players, and then you would just type in their name. One thing that I wanted to show you is that password settings for players. I went ahead and hit editable passwords. If you have them get auto-generated passwords, they are hard for especially those young kids to type and use on their device. So I find that it works best if you edit the passwords. So what I have done, since my kids are one-to-one, they have their own iPad, they log into Teacher Monster to Read app. And what they do, the first time that they had to log in, I had to give them the star code, which was super easy, but then the star code automatically saves into their app. And then all they use is their first name for both the name and the password, and it doesn't matter if it's upper or lowercase. It recognizes it as both since you have this star code. If you use Teacher Monster to Read, when I had computers in my classroom and I did the editable passwords, what I did is I set this page right here, this browser link, I set that as their home page. So each time they clicked on Firefox or Chrome, depending upon the device, it automatically took them to this site, because when you have editable passwords, you have to make sure that they have this code so that they recognize the name and the password together. So that was kind of a cool thing. I really liked that you can give the kids their editable password and it's much easier for them. My first year I did the auto-generated passwords because I didn't find this edible passwords till later. It did work. It just took some time. How I did that is I just put their children or the students' login card on rings, and then they would just find their login card and they would just type it in. It did take some time, but overall it was really good. So one of the things that I like to do here in this teachers area, you can go down all the way and you can download all of this type of stuff. So for monster letters, if they level up, you can also send parent letters, and it makes their own password cards. One of the things that I like to do is their stats. So I'm going to download their stats, which just went into my downloads. So I'm going to go ahead and open up their stats. And so as you can see here, these stats up here for each of the letters and the sounds, you can tell my students, like, okay, did they master it? Did they have to go back to it multiple times? How many times they had to be redirected and all of that type of good stuff. So I really like that you can go in and you can see the stats of each student. So if I'm going to see if it will let me. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I have an account just as a mock account. Oh, and I don't have the latest. But anyways, what the student would do if they were playing online via computer, they would just put in their username, their password, and then it would come up, and then they just go through it, and it covers letters, sounds, and it goes all the way to reading full sentences, and it progresses with your student. So Teacher Monster to Read is a great online program. It's game based. It progresses with your student. It gives you stats. You can invite their parents to look at it, and it's free. That's the amazing thing about it, is that teachermonstertoread.com is completely free. My kids love it. I love it. It's a great guided reading center, or if you're looking for something for your kids to work on individually and kind of take control of their learning, this is a great app because it progresses, and great website because it progresses with them. So I would say that the Teacher Monster to Read website falls underneath the ISTE Educator 6A and also the ISTE Educator 7B standards. But I absolutely love I love Teacher Monster Read. I use it every single year. I just go in and create a new class and delete my old class. So if you haven't already, especially if you're a primary teacher, I suggest that you look into Teacher Monster to Read.